like two or three, we had the Titans, which were the planeswalker. He calls them planeswalker equivalents because it's things that go down and don't attack. They have effects you activate.
Yeah.
And it was like here's all 11 of them. Rank them. And he's like, and I will compare that to the actual like play stats from like actual game to what you guys said. And he's been going like back like to other mechanics, like last one's been going. So like in this set of them, one of them got nerfed. Figure out which one got nerfed. The best part was of that one of them had gotten buffed, and he didn't mention that. And I think Sebo put that as like his number 2, the one that was unplayably terrible that it had to get buffed, and it's still only mediocre. Because Demon Hunter's stupid.
Yeah.
Demon Hunter doesn't like cards that cost more than 4.
I still can't get over the fucking bit in the Farfa MBT one where Raren's like, yeah, these are 2 very, very new cards, and MBT goes, then how the fuck are we supposed to know what's good? You fuckers haven't figured this out yet.
Yes, I do remember that. It's very good. I was losing it because a couple weeks ago, I'm just sitting there scrolling through YouTube and I see that Sebo has a video with fucking LSV. I was just like, how? Why?
I assume that you sent the link when we're live.
Yeah, well, we're live.
Wow.
I should naturally say we're live all the time.
Yeah, I love sending out links when we're not live. I think it's really cool to do. I think it's kind of based, actually, to send out links when we're not live.
That'd be funny.
We're live! Goes to stream. They're not fucking live.
That's on the video. This video doesn't exist. Wait, what is this link?
How are you guys?
I'm good.
Good. I'm vibing. We'll do a little bit of chit chat before we do, because I don't expect this episode to take a year and a half.
You never know.
We got 6 shows, and I'll be real with you. I know mine are gonna be pretty quick, in terms of like recap, because I ain't gonna.
What even happened in mine?
Right.
I know I liked it, but I don't remember.
Well, welcome. We're the Saber Slay Anime Afraid podcast. We talk about our remaining newly airing shows and their episode 9s. We've watched up to episode 9 this week. We watched only episode 9s. We are not talking about anything beyond episode 9. There, you know it. It's on the screen when we talk too. See that right there, right there, right there. Episode 9. Yeah. So we got 6 shows left. We have Senpai, we have Alya, we have Wistoria, we have Heroines, and we have Pseudo Harem.
And
that's it. 6. Oh, I skipped Elusive. You're right.
yeah, I was about to say, you skipped Elusive?
Elusive, Heroines, Pseudo Harem. Yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know how I did that. My brain was like, yeah, that's 6. Sorry, Mason.
It's okay.
I have not done too much, I say, while being ridiculous. We played D&D yesterday. We had there's a VOD on that on the D&D channel. I kind of recommend watching that episode, even if you have jack idea about what's going on in our campaign, because you get to watch our party decide that we're gonna go walk into a graveyard crypt, go 5 floors down, have a lot of really spooky, unnerving things happen, and then go, but what if we went 1 more floor down? To which then 3 of us failed charisma saves, and the floor of the next room was entirely devoid of space, and the other 2 members of the party went, well, this is just a regular floor, you guys are pussies. Walked out to the single sarcophagus with a fucking black stone slab lid on it, couldn't open it with a 19 strength check, and then went, what if we busted it open with magic? Meanwhile, my character, who doesn't want to leave the staircase because there is a void at his feet, goes, so there's a sarcophagus in there? I can't see it. Hear me out. We just saw a ghost on the floor above us that looked like a dead Wizard of Thay. A dead red Wizard of Thay. We should get the fuck out of here. We should not touch this crypt. We should not touch that sarcophagus. And as I went, we should go and walk back up. Or Druid goes, I'm gonna fucking earth trigger that casket. And it does double damage, fucking 64 fucking damage to a casket. To which then, our DM goes, a spell is being cast, and our wizard goes, cool, this sounds like it's gonna be really bad. I'm gonna counterspell it. Roll shit on the counterspell. We go, what if we burn an inspiration to re-roll that roll? We burn the inspiration, we roll worse, only to find out the thing we tried to counterspell was a time stop from an entity trying to help us. So if we had succeeded, we probably would have died. To which the entity went, what the fuck are you all doing here? Get out. Go. Leave. Do not be here. You are going to die.
Go. Do not collect $200.
And then at the end of the session, Dylan and our cleric got a little bit of extra lore from our DM in a private conversation. That they basically were given a handful of options, and they chose the option that involved them not being able to share whatever they learned. And then afterwards, I was in the call with Dylan and Painless for an additional 2 hours after session, as Dylan had a mental breakdown trying to figure out what the fuck was going on in the campaign. It is perhaps some of the funniest conversation there. And there's a point where Dylan goes, Sean, I'm gonna need you to deafen because I have to talk to Painless. And I go, okay. And Painless has his webcam on, and Dylan goes, just, Sean, look at Painless's face and try to figure out what's going on here. I go, yeah, I didn't get anything from that. He just looks like he's having a fun time watching you lose your goddamn mind, Dylan.
That's alright.
Other thing I've done, I went and I updated my list of manga I'm reading so that I know all the manga I'm reading. When I had done this, we found out that I'm actively reading 27 manga. As of now, I'm actively reading 30. I added 3 more.
Nice round number.
So I am reading Beat in Motion, which I've taught. A lot of this is stuff on Shonen Jump. A lot of this is either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, so not everything.
I'm very familiar with Beating in Motion.
Yeah. You would actually really like Beat in Motion. Also, new Beat in Motion chapter that came out this morning. Fucking incredible. Really great chapter. Beat in Motion, Black Clover, which I am actively reading whenever it wants to give me a new chapter. Chainsaw Man, the fuck's going on over there? Dog's Red, really excited for hockey. Gozei Hotaru, which is on Manga Plus, which I've only read 1 chapter of, but it is one of the things I'm going to actively be reading. Hero Organization, which is new, and I've talked about this briefly to, I think, Michael, and I don't know if also Mason. The illustrator for this manga's name is Akira Takahashi.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
You did. You just didn't say it by name.
Yeah. So
yeah, like I remember just the manga. I don't remember like the manga itself. I remember you saying the name.
Yeah, because Hero Organization is a fucking terrible name for a manga. Yeah. This is and for what it's worth, this manga's about a single I want to say single dad, but for some reason that doesn't sound like the right phrasing for it. Single parent home father, whose son is really good at like VR combat, like space mecha VR simulation combat, and so he's like, my son's gonna be a prodigy, and he works in like creating the general model mech that goes out into space and fights aliens, to which like the space defense organization goes, hey, we actually want you to come fight in space because we think you have potential. And he goes, I have a son at home, I can't do that. And they go, you sure about that? And it's about the dad going into space to fight aliens. Surely nothing horrible will come from it. It looks really cool.
I was about to say, I can't believe you're reading a manga about the dad of Ender from Ender's Game.
But yeah, but calling the manga Hero Organization's a fucking shitty name. I don't know why it's called that. Respectfully. But yeah, that
they're
illustrator,
organizing heroes.
Sure,
something.
that illustrator's name just makes me think of Akira Toriyama and Kizuki Takahashi.
Reading a manga that's just Gundam trying not to be a Gundam.
Well, I don't think it's not trying to be a Gundam. I'll tell you that much. Somebody who was some of the comments on Manga Plus are like, what if the point of this is they're trying to get the dad to go to space to die so they can take custody of his kid? And I'm like, that's fuck. They might do that.
That's wild, but totally fair.
They're kind of cooking.
Sounds very Gundam of them.
I'm reading Himaten.
Gundam of them.
I'm reading Hope You're Happy Lemon. Itchy the Witch. which is
Which
only...
things we say while watching Makeine? Which is things we say while watching Makeine. I hope you're happy, Lemon.
Hope you're happy, Lemon. Itchy the Witch, which only has 2 chapters out. Insect
good,
Girl,
though.
which only has 4. JJK, which will eventually fall off this list because it's ending in 2 weeks.
Until we get season 2. Or series 2.
I refuse to believe he's gonna do anything in this fucking world ever again. I think this man's gonna fucking walk away from this for at least 8 years.
I'm glad you're optimistic.
Yeah. Kagurabachi, Kaiju number 8, Kill Blue, Kindergarten Wars, which, did I only post that in our group chat, or did I post that in the actual podcast group chat? That fucking insane panel from Kindergarten Wars today that I read.
You may have just sent it in ours. I don't remember.
I
Gotta scroll up
totally
100
did.
messages from today.
Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
certainly did send a lot of screenshots today.
I had
That-
no.
I mean,
I had
You
no,
go back and look at like me and Sean's DMs. Like, just look like that too.
So here we go, so that John can see it. This is the panel that I got today in Kindergarten Wars. I don't have a really good way to show this to chat. Just know it is a lot of text.
I'm not reading all that shit, but good for you, or I'm sorry for your loss.
Right.
I want you to know that and then John, here are the top 2 comments on Manga Plus about this chapter.
Your translation team of race. Someone please check on the translator.
That massive wall of text is a character talking about his older brother. That's all that is.
I tell you, I'm not reading all that shit, but I'm sorry for your loss, or congratulations is appropriate.
Yeah. Kindergarten War is really good. The chapter I just got to, I read all of what is out of Make the Exorcist Fall in Love. That manga's fucked. That manga's insane. So the premise of this is that there is a boy who is a prodigy exorcist.
Really?
And so the church, believes him to be, like, the only thing that can beat Satan. So they train him in very fucked up ways. And in the first chapter, he winds up defeating, Asmodeus, who, if you know Bible things, is the devil of lust. So that happens in the first chapter, and some things happen there. And the idea at the end of the first chapter is that his mentor is like, hey, kid, you're gonna have a really fucked up life. If you want to try to have any semblance of happiness, try to fall in love with somebody. And so the premise of the manga is that he's at least open to the idea of maybe falling in love, but doesn't understand what that means. And he is tasked to protect a painter, whose art gallery is entirely about an angel who fell in love with a human. And there is definitely nothing in the background going on that is bad or evil in that manga. Not at all. Nothing horrible. All I'll say is, the chapters where Beelzebub, the Lord of Flies, the Devil of Gluttony shows up, I'm not a fan of those chapters. Not a fan of those There are some visuals in those chapters that are not. What's really cool is every time an exorcist does a cool exorcist thing in that manga, they cite a Bible verse, and that's fucking rad and really funny. That manga's visually really cool, also very dark. I'm reading Marriage Toxin. Nothing new in that regard. One Piece, I won't talk about anything because the new chapter's not officially out, so it doesn't exist to me. Vuri Dragon.
We would never read the leaks. That
Yeah.
would be wrong.
Vuri
and
Dragon.
not correct.
Shiba
It's
Inu
not
Rooms.
like I'm in the server or anything exclusively to get the leaks or anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
we would do
nothing
that.
about this next manga besides, if you're interested, go read it on Manga Plus. Shibatarian. It just ended. I am 5 chapters into that. Shinobi Undercover has one chapter. Showa Shoten, we're getting a new chapter soon. Soon being like 15 days. A new chapter soon. Strikeout Pitch. Yeah. Strikeout Pitch has like 3 chapters. Days of the Diamond, still waiting on new stuff to come for it. It's a monthly. The God Before Me, Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, And since last podcast, I have read all of You and I Are Polar Opposites. That manga's fucking adorable. Part of me wants to tell all of you to go read it, but I also would love to watch that if it winds up being when it gets animated, because I assume it will. In addition to that, there are 2 other ones I have picked up in the meantime that push me to 33. Those are No Gyaru in This Class, which just dropped its first 3 chapters today on Manga Plus. The premise of that is that there is a girl who is a model student who decides that she wants friends because she is a model student who has no friends because she considers who she was to have been a very boring person. So she pretends to be a Gyaru. And
That's
then
cute.
there's a guy in the class who was also a model student who pretends to be a punk. The 2 of them are adorable. This is by the same author who wrote Don't Blush Sakemi-san. I am also reading that. I will probably be done with that tomorrow. Because those chapters are really short. And that only has 43 chapters. But just because I was reading that and I thought that was... I wanted to see their other works. Let me quick grab you a panel from Shibuteria. I'm just gonna give you. I'm gonna get you 1 or 2 of these panels. That is largely, I think, everything that I've been up to.
I don't have a number on this here.
I don't have a lot of other things in my mind that I think I've done, so I think that's it.
What about you, Mason? What have you been up to?
So I was talking about it a little bit before podcast, but I played Yu-Gi tonight. That was fun.
Let's go.
I also spent most of the day reading Black Clover. I've hit my 100 chapter limit.
He's done that twice this week.
I've done that twice this week.
There's a 100 chapter limit now?
Yeah,
on
there's-
Viz there's a 100 chapter limit.
That's
Yeah.
fucking illegal.
It makes sense. Like it's.
I know.
It's just for
This
a
is
day.
a
It's in a day.
$2 it's $2 a month for that subscription.
Yeah.
So like
I don't care. Like I can wait I can wait until tomorrow to read the last 49 chapters that are out of Black Clover. But also, fuck that manga's good. Like, genuinely, I knew I would enjoy it. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I have. And it honestly, the more that I've been thinking about it, let's see this bullshit.
what am I looking at?
Fuck.
I quite literally cannot tell you anything about this manga besides if you are at all interested from either of those 2 screenshots. This manga's a mind fuck.
I'll do it again.
I'll get you that name in case you guys are.
Please.
It was
yeah,
Shibuteria, I can guess how that's spelled, but
I legitimately think Black Clover may have one of if not my favorite fight in all of them.
Oh, I got blown up. I will die.
There's something that's right after where the enemy ended, and I believe Sean said earlier that it's the reason why he suggested we read this. It's worth it. It's entirely worth it.
It's also surrounded by a bunch of other incredibly amazing fights. It just
Yeah,
happens
they're
to be
all
the standout
blue
one
color.
for me.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I say that, and then one of the fights that happens after it, particularly the fights that are focused on the lead female characters, actively made me cry.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
Yeah.
That's always good.
It's one of those manga that, like, when it hits you with the gut punches that it wants, like, when it wants you to be sad, you're gonna be fucking sad. Because it sets up the characters so well.
It
Even,
does...
like,
Sorry, I was gonna say...
there's-
Go ahead, Mason.
Okay.
You finish first.
I was just gonna say, even the villains are really well done in that it makes every single one of them, you go, damn, you're evil as shit, but, like, I kind of get it. And also, like, man, I feel bad for you.
or they're just downright atrocious pieces of dog shit and they deserve to die.
Yeah, one or the other.
I was gonna say that...
Like people who play Side Spam of Pokemon.
Sure. I guess. Mason had said it before we went live, where like, because we were talking about like I was like, I don't know how big of a shonen fan John is if he would actually want to get into reading it, because I know he reads One Piece. I don't know what other big shonens you've read, John.
I think that's it. I don't really like a lot.
You've read Mashal,
I
but
think I
like,
read My Hero, yeah.
You
But
read My Hero, you read Mashal.
that was one of those I wasn't reading My Hero for My Hero. I was reading it because I was in too deep.
fair.
Yeah, once you're that far and you can kind of gotta finish.
Like, I gotta finish it now.
But like the thing that Black Clover does that is very similar to One Piece is that when you enter an arc and there are fights, the supporting cast gets their own fights. So like there are very
always
large
nice.
there are large enemies that are very powerful that they go a chunk of the supporting cast or sometimes a single supporting cast member is going to go fight that character. And Asta is not going to touch that fight because he is busy in another fight. Or if he does, he shows up for like a second to help someone not die, and then he's like, "Ate my place. You got this."
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice.
I really appreciate it because it lets every single member of the supporting cast feel like they're useful. Every last one.
Which, like,
That's a really
part of the
good
themes of
supporting
Black
cast.
Clover is that, like, the world functions better if they are united than if they are working individually, which is, like, one of the big things. So, like, you have a world that inherently has groups of mages, and part of the thing that has been set up is that the mages are supposed to be encouraged to work together to protect people. That should be their top priority. To the point that Black Clover's civilian casualty rate is probably close to 0. It's actually a little nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, not many people die in that manga because of the amount of
Good people.
good people, and the good people actively are, like, it's escalation of force tactics, and, like, we're trying our best not to fucking kill you, please stop.
It's always nice.
It's very good.
Also, there's kaiju battles in it.
Yeah.
I'll probably get into it eventually.
Don't worry about it.
How much you guys are gonna talk about it?
Aside from that, what else have I done?
You played some Fortnite.
Played some Fortnite. New game mode's fun. Played some TFT as per usual. Played some Heroines.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done some Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizers.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, those happened.
Does John know
Yeah.
about the funny thing?
John, I haven't told you because I haven't talked to you.
I've been
So-
busy.
There's a chance you might know this.
Understandable.
The funny thing
So, you've heard of Archipelago, right?
of what?
Archipelago. It's the like multi-world, like people can play multiple games while doing randos, and it like if you get a night.
Yes, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. So, I was attempting to do a randomizer with Freela. He was doing KH1 rando, I was doing KH2. We're trying to set it up, we just couldn't get it to fucking work. Now, notably, the main thing with the normal randomizer right now is it doesn't fucking work with the newest patch. That has been out for almost 2 months now. Because they haven't worked on it, so you have to down patch it. Works on Archipelago though. The Archipelago one works on the current patch.
It's very weird.
So
I don't know
weird.
how the fuck that happens.
Technology, man.
I think that's
Right.
so funny.
The best part is that they haven't even acknowledged it in the actual rando Discord that it doesn't work. They acknowledge it in the help section, and that's it. There's not an announcement or anything. Really,
Sounds like KH mods.
sounds like KH mods.
That's
Oh
it,
no,
Mason.
don't say that too loud. They'll come after you on Twitter and tell you to kill yourself.
Whoa.
What?
That's an actual
That's an
thing
old
that
one.
happened
That's
to
an
me.
old one.
I get no. See, I don't doubt it. That's just a crazy.
Oh, after the
Good,
podcast,
great.
I can run you through that story because that was
Oh
funny.
boy.
Mason wasn't even a KH player. Is the best
I had
part.
the fucking mob set on me.
Mob. Fucking
I want
nerd
you
mob.
to know, by the way, at some point this week, Mason went into the mountains into a tunnel. I know this because because I got
I didn't go to the
a
mountains.
well, you went into a tunnel. Mason's in a snap
go
in the
into
middle
a
of the night where he's like, "Oh look, a tunnel," and I went, "Are you alive?" Because I was worried.
So,
Secret
Cody-
tunnel.
I mean,
Cody and
that
I-
one game that's like all the horror stories and stuff just released a new chapter. So
Fierce Fathom.
Yeah, Fierce to
yeah.
Fathom
Yeah.
did get a new chapter.
so maybe Mason was just in another chapter of Fierce to Fathom.
So Cody and I went for a walk on Monday night. Like, we're sitting there, we're like, he was playing WoW, I was reading Black Clover, and he just goes, "You want to go on a walk?" I'm like, sure. And it's like 10 at night, thinking, all right, it's gonna be a nice little night walk.
Secret tunnel.
We walked
Secret
7
tunnel.
miles. We walked 3.5 miles down this pathway. That's like, we have a it's the like county trail system, like that's monitored by the city. The county is just at the back of our apartment complex. There's just a path that just leads onto it. So we just started walking.
But
We
would you
found the
walk?
tunnel.
But would you walk 500 more?
I knew you were gonna
Sean.
do it too. But yeah, we got like a mile and a half down, and we were like, "Oh, there's a tunnel." The
Oh
funniest part was,
well, when in a tunnel, might as well go through the tunnel.
so the funniest part was we're walking up on it, and because of how the tunnel is set up, it's white walls that are all lit, and then
Mhm.
nothing on the other sides of it, like no light or anything. It's just what's in the tunnel. So we're walking up on it, and because of perspective, we're like, "Is there a sign telling us not to walk into this thing?" No, it's just the back of the fucking tunnel because it was just black.
You just went through the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Michael, what have you
So
been
yeah,
up to? Oh, because I assume you're done, Mason.
I was just gonna say that's all I was doing. I was gonna pass it off to someone else. So
Michael.
So I've done a little bit of things. By that I mean like a lot of one and a half things. Half of it's very much less than a half of a thing. So I had started this last week. I just kind of wasn't far enough in to really say anything. But I started reading Astrolust in Space. The manga from whenever the fuck ago, by the person who's currently writing Witch Watch. And it's a story about some high schoolers who this is in like the far future. This is like we've colonized most of the galaxy, at least.
Get manifested destiny, idiots.
Or like we've explored most of it and like charted it. So like this is the kind of thing. Elite Dangerous, like that's that kind of place. But like Elite Dangerous, if it was nice. I think I don't know. I didn't play. I played Elite Dangerous for 10 hours. I've done nothing in it. They're going on space camp. It's like a camp. It's like school camping trip. But they're going to another planet. It's a group of like eight of them. I think it's 8 or 9 of them. I don't remember. I'm not gonna sit here and count them. And they go on this school camping trip. They're brought on like a spaceship. They go there. They're dropped off. Spaceship leaves. Orb.
We
Orb
love
appears.
orbs.
We love
The orb shows up and a person goes, "Yo, what's this orb gonna do?" They go to walk up to the orb. We got one of the coolest visuals in any manga ever. As it stretches the person's body part like quickly into like a singularity in the center of the orb. So like it's a line, like it's a person's arm go to, then it's just a black line shooting to the center of it. And they quickly go, "Oh shit! Turn on your fucking space helmets right now!" As all 9 of them get sucked into space. To then find another ship flying in space. They all get on the ship. Said ship gets named the Astra. That's why they're called Astrolust in Space. The Astra name comes from like a Latin something in space. I don't remember what the thing
Astra
is.
star in Latin.
Well, yeah, no, but there's like a specific phrase you'd say that ends with Astra. It's something at Astra. Whatever, yeah, it's something.
Have you read Witch Watch?
I read the first like 40 chapters of it like forever ago. It's fine. Witch Watch is fun.
So if you didn't know,
I
by the
understand
way,
why it's popular.
this is also the Sket Dance mangaka.
Oh, I've heard that one.
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
so-
I looked it up.
Essentially the and then they realize one, their comm system is broken, and 2, they are 1,000 light years or somewhere from where they're supposed to be.
Fun.
You could say
Which-
they missed.
So with their so like with the technology they have, that's something like 40 days of travel.
That's not bad.
But still, they are on a ship with no resources on it, and just the things they had on their backs. They have 3 days of resources on them. So they need to come up with a way to get back and like route them going to planets and get back to civilization. And it follows these group of people surviving, and it's sick. Also, this group of characters is really fun. They all have quite the personality, some of these characters. But yeah, I'm at like chapter 13, so I haven't gotten like super far into it. I assume by chapter 50 it ends because it has an anime. Like I know that that exists. I don't know if like how satisfying the ending by 50 is based off its current pacing, but who knows? But yeah, like the reason I said that's literally like all chapter 1 is that build up there. But yeah, I'm a little bit into that. Other thing I've done. So last week I mentioned I started Pokemon Violet. And as of that time, I had done 1 gym, 1 Titan, 1 Team Star member. As of right now, to anyone who knows how that game systems work, and like how its general story goes, I'm standing right outside of Area 0. I have done all 18 major objectives. I have done all 4 of the post-game
Pretty good, right?
major objective finals. It's a fucking phenomenal video game.
It's fantastic, but like performance issues aside, it's actually probably my favorite Pokemon game.
It's so good.
Like it's so fun.
Yeah, Michael is telling me I need to play
The characters
it.
are so great. It is so good. My
The Pokemon
only
are great.
issue
Like
with
the
the
story's
game,
fine.
um,
Cassiopeia's my hero.
yeah, my biggest issue with the game, the intended level route makes 0 fucking sense.
Yeah.
So
So-
you're just over leveled for some fights while you'll walk to a fight and be 7 levels under and go, ah shit.
And the next fight will be like 13 levels over, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I did the Team Star fights. I only did one of them in the correct spot, which was fight 3. I did fight 2. I did 2, 1, 3, 5, 4 for their ordering. Because going up to Team Star member 4 requires you to go to the northern part of the map, which feels like the end game, because that's how
Because
most
directions.
that's how most Pokemon games go. It's like the top of the ice area, that's your end game. Nah. And then like Gym Fight 4 is in the ice area. Then you leave to go do 2 other gym it's like fight 5, then you leave to go 2 other gym fights to go back to the gym to do back to the ice area to do gym 8. Because you know it makes sense, obviously.
Because directions.
Yeah, Michael sent me this and I went, yeah, Michael, here, you know what, this is gonna make this map make more sense. Here you go, I fixed it.
Yeah, this game is nonsense. Yeah, I finished with the gym fights. That was my final thing was the Grusha fight. Which is
Grusha's great.
absolutely not supposed to be the final thing you
No.
do. So I have Scarlet, it's the past Mons. I did the Great Tusk
Better
fight.
ones. Yeah.
At the right after I did the Kubo fight. That is
Yeah,
it, like
it's right there. It's level, like,
20 level
55,
jump.
but, yeah.
It's a crazy level jump.
What's
to
funny
do
is
that
if you
tight.
save and reload after that, you can actually catch it to at that same level.
That's funny.
I told Michael he played this game like the anime of Peach Boy Riverside covered its story.
I was gonna say that.
One of the funny things that you are locked. One of these gyms is locked out behind you can't just like flat blitz through the gym path and then like go do the other 2, because gym 14 on the bottom left of the map is locked behind like Titan 4 because you need to have high jump or something. It's yeah, this game.
Which means you need to be Earthworm, which means. But
Oh no, so it would be after the Earthworm, which would be Titan,
So,
because one is sprint.
Earthworm is high
sprint.
jump, I think.
Yeah, because it's sprint, glide, high jump. I don't even remember what Great Tusk gave me because I don't remember.
Quick run dodge roll? Are we just getting Kingdom Hearts 2
Yeah, something like that.
I think he gave you glide, maybe.
I could have sworn glide came from the Bombardier, but whatever.
Maybe.
yeah, Michael says I need to play this game. I haven't liked the new Pokemon game since Oras.
I mean, Oris is peak, that's why.
Not if you talk to other people.
Or this is kind of mid.
Not if you talk to like. Yeah. I thought it was fine.
I think it's mid. I thought it was fine, but like it's also like meh. I think that generation of games in 6 is carried by the fact that Mega Evolution really cool.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's.
Let's be
But
real.
the problem is,
Space
you give me Lucario, my interest in the game weans because the game becomes literally. Listen, I know the game's not hard,
yeah.
but like, that's really not hard.
My whole thing with Oras was, the dex nav was just such an incredible feature as like to encourage me to keep playing the game, because it's like, here's everything on the route.
Little pictures,
cool,
yeah.
I can catch everything on the route. I know everything. I know if I'm missing something on the route. Like, it actively encouraged me to get to complete my decks, like my regional decks completely while playing that game. And like, I could just ignore some of the things that were busted because to me it was like I was just replaying a game I played when I was a kid. But yeah, I haven't particularly clicked with a Pokemon game. Like, Black and White and Black and White 2 happened, and then like, I played X and Y, they were fine. A strong, with a strong back leading.
X and Y
on the
are
word
strong, fine.
And then I played Oraz. I really liked Oraz. Sun and Moon, I burned out literally at the end of the game. Like, I burned out Pony Canyon.
It's just such a drag. Like, Sun and Moons are fantastic games, but they're just such drag.
And then I played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'm like, wow, this game actually kind of kicks your ass. I don't know if I want that in a game that already dragged.
Actually, Sun and Moon are often considered the hardest like mainline games, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, just because like the difficulty of like the fights and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, and then I sure played a little bit of Sword and Shield. And you just could not have sold me on Legends Arceus. I know people really like it. It's just it's not
really good.
It's not my particular style of gameplay that I want to.
I didn't think I'd like it either. And then I played it because Amber had it on her Switch, and so I just like, Switch shared it.
Yeah.
On her profile, and so I played through all of it, and I actually just finished doing the research on all the Pokemon in that game, which is basically like your equivalent of the Pokedex completion.
Yeah.
Because you have to get like research level 10, and then once you do, you get the shiny charm to like shiny hunt stuff. Whereas the reward for completing just the base Pokedex in the game, getting all 240 Pokemon, is you just get an Arceus, which is really cool. Because again, Arceus you could never get before, which is really nice.
Yeah, and I just had no incentive to get Let's Go Eevee or
I've heard
or Billion Diamond Shining Pearl.
BDSP, don't bother. I've heard the Let's Go games are good because they're such a good like, hey, here's what Pokemon is for a newer generation, right? That was the design of them, and I think they do a fantastic job of that. And also, they're the reason why we have overall Pokemon right now for Scarlet and Violet. Like that was basically the tech demo for Scarlet and Violet, if you want to put it that way. I'm like, hey, also, here's overall Pokemon you can go catch that are just around. And I think that's
are the best looking Pokemon game we've ever gotten, outside of Snap. Outside of like New Snap, they are the best.
God, New Snap's so beautiful.
New Snap is a phenomenal video game. Everyone in the world should play that.
It's a great 6-hour experience.
But you can go back and do so much in it.
I know.
Yeah, but I'm someone who is jaded where it's like you have to hard sell me on. I really think like old sprite animation for the Mons is
well, yeah, Gen 5 is still the best looking Mons we've ever had, but like
I think there's some good animations, some bad ones. I definitely think like Sword and Shield had some of the coolest move animations ever made. Like the moves in that game were so dynamic and fun. The problem is dynamic and fun's great the first 8 times you've used the move. But the next 327 times you click Surging Strikes, it's not as fun. It's just, please, love of God, get this over with.
But you can turn them off. You always can.
Not anymore.
Oh, really?
Can't turn them off in this game.
You really can't?
Not in Scarlet Violet.
That's funny.
Nope.
Yeah, Scarlet Violet also has the funny thing that is you physically can't turn the game to set mode. It is locked on Switch mode.
Yep.
Which you can just click B anytime you... Yeah.
But set mode obviously exists because we have competitive. So it's just like, you could have just mandated set mode and just called it a day.
You can click B through everything. It's just a little bit annoying that I have to do that instead of just letting the game...
I'm letting the game win. I'm letting the game win, guys.
What else have you been up to, Michael?
Realistically, not much outside of those two things. I've played a lot. I wanted to check to see how many hours I've put into Scarlet, because again, I went from 4 hours into the game to done with the entire pre-post game stories, like the
Here's
main
thing,
game.
Michael, you'll never know how many hours you put in because the game lags so much that it doesn't have an accurate representation for you.
That's hilarious, actually.
There's a clip of Smollett going, "How long have I been live? 8 hours?" And he opens up the timer because if you check your Switch time, it will tell you how long you played the game for, right?
Yeah.
But if you check the in-game time, which you can through like your profile, it'll tell you how much you've actually gotten to play the game, not including load screens and lag. And let's just say as someone who's put like over 700 hours into this game between just Violet, it's not. It's funny.
Switch
It's
2.
silly.
It's common.
It's gonna be a PS4,
God.
but portable,
That's
which
good
honestly is
enough.
kind of sick. That's
That's
good enough for me.
fucking good enough.
That's really
The
good.
PS4 had Kingdom Hearts 3 on it, and that game looks and runs amazingly on that device.
Yeah.
There's also other games. That's like the only one I think
Just-
that was like the big.
Like, again,
going from
it's
cutscene to
not
game
even
boy.
necessarily just that it's gonna run like a PS4. It's that Nintendo's going to be able to produce games on a PS4 quality level hardware.
But
that's
they
insane.
have you seen Xenoblade and how good that game
Well,
looks?
yes, right.
And, like,
but they did that. They
Breath of
did
the
that on
Wild.
hardware. That's a fucking 12-year outdated phone. Imagine on an
Imagine
only
what-
6-year
imagine
outdated
Imagine
console.
Xenoblade 4 on like. Imagine if Xenoblade 4 was made for the PS5.
But anyways,
Imagine if that was a
Yeah.
thing we could have.
Yeah. What you been up to,
Anyways,
John?
Michael, what else have you been up to? Anything else?
You need to find other things I've done. I think around some mods in Outer Wilds.
I
I found
changed
one
the
that lets me
board.
throw meteors at things.
Fine.
Which led to the funny bit in a call of me going, "I'm bringing the war to them."
In other news, Michael is desperately trying not to cave and buy a PS5 so that he can play the new Astrobot game.
Yeah.
But
Bro, same.
never seen a
Astro's
man-
Playroom is the most fun. Is like the most fun I've had in a game in a while. Like when I played that 4
On
years
someone
ago.
else's console.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh, that one's
I
so
also-
bad. I can't justify it right now.
I also got the I have the Torgal little avatar thing, which you get for playing playing FF16 for 15 minutes.
We love Tor.
With your Discord client open. So I downloaded the demo. And fun fact, 15 minutes gets you not through the opening cutscenes.
Yeah.
You get to walk about 30 steps. You watch a cutscene, walk about 30 steps, watch another set of cutscenes, and by that time that's done, you're already more than 50 minutes into the game. So I'm
Fun
not very
fact.
far into the games. I kind of just turned it off because I did this at like 3 a.m. last night. But
Fun fact about that. All Discord looks for is if you're running a file called FinalFantasy16.exe. So you can run literally anything if you rename it that, and you will get that.
that's even more hilarious, actually.
Yeah. It's really
I should go.
funny.
I should go back and play that game.
I should also go play that game.
Am I gonna buy and play that game? I don't know. I'll
You
might
got other
play
shit
through
to
the demo.
play. You got other shit.
Yeah.
You got so much
Yeah,
other shit to play.
I do have like 3 Tales games and the end of a Tales game to play.
Please,
I desperately,
someone play Symphonia so I can not be alone.
I desperately want him to play Wistoria though, because I think it's gonna be funny.
I also want him to play Wistoria because
I love
can't wait.
R2 Press Simulator. It's really fun.
I want
That,
him
that's
to.
that's Berseria.
I
Oh,
want
Berseria,
him.
sorry.
I want him to do the squirrel Macarena. Please, Michael, do the squirrel Macarena.
God, holy shit!
Excuse me?
Oh my god!
I'll go get it. Give me a second.
No, you don't have to.
No, you
okay.
do.
That's
You
okay,
very
Sean.
much do.
Oh, I
It's
play like
wonderful.
Risk of Rain 2 and stuff, but like, yeah, it's whatever.
We had a big house party at my house. Big.
I'm sorry,
Our house.
fun.
We had our housewarming party for once, finally, after a long wait. We had a bunch of friends over. It was fun. Everyone's really nice and super generous and got us stuff that they shouldn't have, but it's very sweet. And now we have a wok and an apron that just says cooking on it. And some other fun stuff. Like, my friend Julia got me some nice ramen bowls. It was really cool. But we did that. Like I said, I finished doing through Legends Arceus because I'm procrastinating on playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because playing competitive gives me anxiety this season for some reason. I just can't settle really on a team like style that I like right now. But outside of that, did go to a local last week. Went 3-1 and got championship points. Doesn't really matter so much, but it was fun. And then the GC, the first Grand Global Challenges, I think this one's a grand challenge and a global challenge, like just like the Western regions, which is like the best of one closed team cheats online competition that everyone fucking loves to hate, is ongoing right now. And yeah, it's a silly time. I'm not running anything fun this time. I'm just playing very honest, balanced gameplay, which is not what you should be doing in these, but it's going. After that, just keep them busy, work, everything else. Tigers are a game behind the Twins for the wild card spot right now, with 8 to go.
It's wild that they became somewhat of a team. Finally.
Tigers are the hottest team in baseball right now, and that is the sentence I didn't think I'd ever say.
It's wild because they were, from what I remember, they were
Mid.
objectively shit at the beginning.
Yeah, they're pretty
of the
bad this
season.
year. For most of this year, they were pretty bad. So it's been fun to watch that. It's been really exciting, like having a baseball team again to root for. Because I love baseball, and the Tigers sucked a lot, like a lot. We're not the White Sox bad, but like we were close.
I mean, it's very hard to be the White Sox bad.
The White Sox bad is so bad.
It's been bad for years too.
The White Sox are gonna break the record for most losses in a single season since like the 1900s. That's how bad the White Sox are.
Fair.
It's like you might think your team has it bad. You're not the White Sox. And Yankees fans will be winning their division and say, "Wow, we're the worst team in baseball," and they don't deserve to have fun anymore. But yeah, that's kind of it for me. Haven't really watched much. Been keeping up on manga. Oh, we had Austin, our friend, finally got back from his vacation and came up to like pick up his stuff that he shipped to our house, and he brought gifts. So I have this new shirt from Oshinoko that is the Akane artwork. That's really sick. Hell yeah. He also brought a Stellar Crown box with some cards in it that's over there that had nothing really good in it, to be honest. We got like one full art that was pretty cute, and then it has like 3 like pre-built like decks for the format, which is actually really cool. So we got like a Charizard, Radiant Charizard for like actual play, but
That is one of the things as well that Pokemon does really well. Is at least
yeah, their TCG availability is really good.
their
Hey,
card,
do you want to play the deck the world champion had? Here you go. It's $30.
yeah, straight up, they do that all the time,
Yeah.
and it's really good. Honestly, it's why that game is flourishing as much as it is because they just print out of the box tournament viable decks.
Like, as much as I talk about the video game being really good and like growing, like it still pales in comparison to the TCG. Despite like Wolfie being the biggest like Pokemon YouTuber basically, and like VGC content being at its all-time high, it still dwarfs in comparison to the TCG. Like it's not even close.
Mhm.
Like it's insane how popular TCG is.
Yep.
For good reason too. It's a good game. Like watching it, I understand nothing, but like watching some of the things that happen, I'm like, that's hype. That looks hype. Everyone's cheering. I guess I'll cheer. Yeah, he did the thing. He played the card.
It's a surprisingly simple game as well.
It is.
So,
Numbers go burst. Sometimes you roll some dice. That's about it.
Yeah.
So I think
it's funny.
Part of what makes it simple is I think it has very little, if no interaction with your opponent's turns. Like you kind of
Yes.
just take your turn, your opponent takes a turn.
Mhm.
So there's a lot less you need to think. There's no stacks, there's no chains, there's no
A lot of you
fucking
doing your
layers,
own stuff
there's
and
no
playing
bullshit.
your own game to beat their game.
There's a little
right?
bit of bullshit, but there's not.
Yeah, you don't
Not
have to.
that
You don't
kind
have
of
to read
bullshit.
185 words on one card.
Per card.
Per card to then
some of
read the
them
next
do.
card.
On a
Some of them
30
do.
card deck.
I mean,
There's some
to be
really
fair,
pretty
Magic's
cards,
honestly
though.
getting to that point as well, where it's getting fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card text on
We
it.
have some absolutely sick cards though in our collection, like that we've acquired, like that are really really fun to look at. I like the pretty colors. Also, Pokemon's card artwork. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
Like holy
Mhm.
shit!
Their
For
artists
the recent set, the Galvantula and like Tropicos EX like full arts are just amazing. Like every time you see them, you're just like, Pokemon, that's not fair. You can't be this good and also do this. Yeah, Pokemon's fun. I'm trying to figure out what team I want to play for Reg H here with Louisville, Kentucky coming up
Not
in
questing
next
beast.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks I'll be in Louisville playing again, and I have no idea what team I want to run, and that's really fun. I'm not trying to stress too much about it because I'm not pushing for Worlds this year because the new qualification is bullshit and lame. But hey, is what it is. We'll see. I also Mousehold won the first regional this year.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Offensive population bomb Mousehold won the regional. It was super cool by a player who's literally never gone to a regional before too. Like I think it's the best part about these lower power formats is like it's less about just like raw like experience and skill and like money. It's just like sometimes you can just build good teams and just have a good day, you know. It's super cool. But congrats to Nicholas for winning that event. Fucking amazing play with his team, and it's Mousehold, man. How can you be mad at Mousehold? It's just there's a silly little family of 3. Who would win? A pseudo legendary with 6 regional titles, or one silly little family?
One silly little family.
One silly little family every time.
Power family.
Okay. With that,
Well, we are an anime podcast.
we are an anime
Talk
podcast.
about anime.
With
We
spoilers.
talk about anime with spoilers for episode 9. As you know, we're on episode 9 this week. If you didn't catch it before, it's always down there below. Don't talk about anything past episode 9, you fuckers. This is
Oh,
gonna
you're
be
on episode
harsh
9?
language.
If you couldn't tell already.
If you couldn't tell already. And with
Oh,
that,
fuck.
with that in mind, it's time for the power ranking. This week's power ranking is really funny.
Because it's brought to you by Sketch.
That would be so crazy. I wish we could do a bit like that. This power ranking is really funny because the bolds are cool. The bolds are really neat this week. Ain't that something?
It's a little pattern.
Each of us picked one
We
thing.
each have one
Each of us picked
bowl
one
with
thing.
4 different shows. That's cool.
Because that actively tells you how difficult we are in right now, kind of a stage. But yeah, let's dive into it. We're calling the pack. We start with Senpai now. That feels weird.
It's not too often we switch for the shows we start with. I
Yeah,
feel like
usually
one of our 4 shows is this was peak. But like this year we kind of all griefed with the first shows, huh?
Yeah, this
kinda
is
did.
the only first show left. And then for what it's worth, we have 2 of our second picks, and then we have 3 of our third picks left. Wild.
Let's go.
Our third picks were something this season. So, Senpai this week, we open up with Aoi going to the planetarium alone. Actually, first she goes and wishes her grandmother a Merry Christmas, to which she gets yelled at because she's screaming in a hospital.
Yeah, please don't do that, guys.
Yeah, be quiet. As she leaves the well, not yet. So she goes to the planetarium alone. She doesn't invite a friend. It's really fucking sad. As she is walking out of the planetarium, a taxi passes her, and she swears to God her mom's in that taxi, and runs after it. She runs into a classmate who has a bike, and goes, I'm gonna need that. Takes his bike, fucking scrapes her knee open again. This girl. And then doesn't catch up to the cab. We'll get back to this later, because some insane shit's about to happen.
Yep.
More importantly,
Did not see this coming.
Makoto and Ryuji have their date. They have their Christmas date. Ryuji's family's like, we're going to see Grandma. You're dressed up, huh? Someone special coming over, huh? I bet you got a little special someone coming over. You be good, you little scamp. And then they leave, and his sister pops in and goes, ignore them. You're fine. And then Makoto never shows up to his house because on his way there with the cake, Makoto runs into Aoi. And he realizes she is not okay. And he attempts to figure out what's going on, and goes to comfort Aoi. Ryuji realizes that Makoto is not here yet. And so, while he thinks that maybe it is not the right thing to do, it might be pressing into it a little more, he is a little worried that Makoto maybe got cold feet about their relationship, and wants to go see if he can find him. And stumbles upon Makoto hugging Aoi in the snow in the middle of the street. And overhears, Makoto, maybe overhears. We don't quite know whether or not he heard him. But the way that we hear it, we know that he's there when Makoto says it. That he says, Makoto tells Aoi that he's always gonna be there for her. Always. Your gay boyfriend's around the corner. It's fine. Nothing bad will happen here. Ryuji then lies like a liar and says that he's going to his grandparents with his family after actively, clearly showing he is waiting for Makoto. He's like, actually, I decided to go with them. It's fine, don't worry, you're good. He then instead sits out in the cold in a snowy park as Makoto walks Aoi home. And then the next morning happens, and Makoto comes over to Ryuji's house, goes to wake him up. Ryuji is dreaming of Makoto, winds up kind of pulling Makoto into an embrace, and Makoto kind of panics, to which makes Ryuji feel really bad, and Makoto also feel really bad. Ryuji's family then rats him out that he did not go to his grandparents last night, so he has to come up with a different excuse to explain to Makoto why he canceled the plans. Which Makoto expresses he was worried that Ryuji, like, just didn't want to see him. The two of them exchange Christmas gifts. It's very cute. They go out skating together. They go ice skating, and Ryuji goes, maybe we shouldn't ice skate. Two guys ice skating together is, like, a very couple thing. Like, it's a couple special going on. It's not really... This probably isn't a good idea. We probably should... And Makoto goes, oh, I understand. Give me a second. You stay right here. And changes and cross-dresses to look like a woman so that they can go ice skate together. What a fucking bro. What an adorable man. They then are talking, and they're like, wonder if Aoi's okay. And then the two of them together collectively decide, let's go visit our little gremlin. She needs to be okay. So they visit Aoi, and they're like, yo, what you doing? And Aoi's like, I'm just home. And they go, cool, we're going to the mountains. And Aoi goes, what? We're going to the mountains? And then Makoto styles on them because he's the only person in shape because of all that basketball he plays. They get to the top of the mountain to watch a star shower. They scream about food. They have a nice good time together, the three of them. Makoto and Ryuji go on another date. They go out a bunch of places. They go to a movie together. They hold hands at the movie together. They sit in the movie together alone. And then Ryuji tells Makoto that he was very happy that he let him do this, but they should break up before the end of the year because this is all he really needs. It's fine. And that's where we end the episode. Also, at some point in all of this, we find out that Aoi was right. Her mother was indeed the woman in the cab who was on her way to go see her and then got cold feet and went, no, drive me back.
Again, for the 17th year.
It's fucking crazy.
Dude,
because Aoi takes
was
this
wild.
action. Aoi takes this action to chase after a cab, and you go, there is no fucking way that's your mom. And she even says, the chance that it is my mom is so slim, but I'm gonna chase after it anyway because God, my life fucking sucks. And then only for them to go, yeah, it's actually her mom in the cab. It's the most fucking insane.
Feel bad. Feel worse for this girl.
So bad. Holding
No
a
happiness
photo of,
allowed for her.
holding a photo of her daughter when she was a child, a baby.
And just going like, I think she'll hate me anyways. It's fine. We'll just go. It's just like,
I really like this episode. I said to Michael before this podcast, maybe the only way that all three of these characters do wind up happy is they just get together, all three of them. Maybe that is the only solution.
I was thinking
is.
it. Just a little
Fine,
bit, you know,
it's
like-
fine.
Like they all really good friends. Like they could trade off on who they feel the most immediate affection to here and there. I'm sure it'll work out.
And look, I'm just saying, it seems like both the boys are at the very least bi.
I think they're very like confused, is what they are.
I think Ryuji. I think Aoi and Makoto are maybe bi, but Aoi's also very. I think largely the only person who really probably understands love to a good enough degree right now is Ryuji. The problem is he's not comfortable with himself, which makes it very difficult.
Sad.
God, the music in this show is so fucking good.
It's really good. This whole show's really good.
Because they do
Good
the
shit,
thing
yeah.
I love to talk about, which is they have songs that play at certain moments so that it invokes certain emotion to you that have been tied to other scenes previously.
It's mean. It's evil.
Also, again, it says something about our two boys. That both of them walk up to Aoi and go, hey, you're hurt, what the fuck's wrong? And she goes, no, I'm not. And they go, you're lying, you're so visibly bleeding out of your knee. And she
You're
goes...
lying. Like
and-
a liar.
And then you think about the fact of the reason she tries to do that is because literally everybody else in her life doesn't fucking notice when she's bleeding out of her knees. The only people who notice are her boys. Give her both her boys. I want her to be
her boyfriend
happy.
and her other
her goddamn knees,
Her
please.
her boyfriend and her boyfriend's boyfriend, yeah.
Can we give this bitch some knee pads? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
Right?
she's literally just like that scene, like in Family Guy, where it's like Feeder falls, just goes, ah, Makoto, fuck.
You gotta.
Awie's my favorite bisexual, asexual person.
We're all over the place with this show, and I love it.
I love how again Awie's introduction is her going up to Makoto and going, "I like you," while Makoto's wearing the wig, and Makoto goes, "I'm a dude," and she goes, "Oh, so I get both?" Based.
Even that actually makes it better.
Hey, but it's just like,
And I love these.
this
things.
show is so all over
I just
the
like the way
place.
it's a little more.
I just really liked a lot of our other shows, like overall. Like,
That's
I think they've
fair.
been a little more consistent. It's like nothing against the show. It's like F5, which feels like
Wrong.
dog shit.
Nothing.
But, like, at the same time,
Something
I'm just
has
like,
to be
what
at
am I gonna
5.
put above it? Like, something has to go down there.
Like we're gonna get to like three of our. I think three of us have it at number 6. We're gonna go. Yeah, this was a great episode for this show.
The show's
Sadly.
fantastic. Anyways, let me tell you about this show.
Something like we're close, right? We're on episode 9s, so like realistically, we're in like the home stretch. So like I do have to be thinking, you know, what is a satisfying end for this type of story? And unfortunately, when it comes to like a lot of romances like this, where you have like different preferences for the relationships, when you're in high school, the answer can sometimes be no one. Right? Like, unfortunately, that's a very real answer. Is that, like, right
No
now,
one's happy.
the answer is right now, nobody gets together, because it just doesn't work. I don't know what manga or romance show it is, but there's one of them where they talk about the fact that, like, out of this many high school romances, like, only a handful ever actually go anywhere. I'm glad you also know, Michael. I'm
Yeah,
glad
just-
you're
I
like...
just-
I feel like I remember this reference.
It's like the first fucking scene is like a narrator going, in high school, something's.
Is it Kaguya?
No. Kaga's first scene is them like fighting over.
No,
or
but
something.
I think they bring it up in Kaguya at some point.
Oh, I wish I knew.
I know exactly what you're talking about. The show
Yeah.
bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the show we watched on the podcast.
It
if we're all
could be.
Yeah, I think it was. It wasn't Tomo.
My brain almost thinks Horimiya,
It
but
wasn't Haruya. I can
No,
tell you
it
that.
wasn't that one.
Michael's googling it.
I read it like
Just
4
something,
times.
I'm trying to think if I'm like actively reading anything that it could be, but I don't fucking know. But that's besides the point. I just love the I
Yeah,
love
episode
this
was great.
cast.
Like that, I didn't expect this to go over this way, but like also I like kind of did. You know what I mean? Where it's like oh well, they work pretty well together, so I'm not upset about them being together. But then it's like no, he doesn't really have feelings for Ryuji this way. It feels kind of like copium, and it's like.
But then there are
but, like,
moments.
is it?
But
Like,
then
he
there are
does
moments,
care
right?
about Ryuji, and
There
it's
are-
like it's not like he's just indifferent towards Ryuji,
Yeah.
right? He does care about him. It's just he doesn't care about him this way, and it does feel like
It's-
he's just trying to like do this just because it's like, well, Aoi left me, and I would rather make my friend happy, so at least we can like try it. But
One
like,
of the-
I
yeah.
give so much respect to him for just being like, no, you're not really that into it like I am. It is kind of gross. I get it because you're not. He's not into dudes. Like, it's possibly what it is. You know.
Yeah, one of the scenes that I think really, like, one of the things I think is really important that comes out of the end of this episode is when Makoto holds Ryuji's hand and he thinks about it, and he's like, well, we've always held hands. Like, it's obviously different now, but we've always held hands. But earlier when Ryuji thought about it, from really early on, Ryuji was like, holding hands with him is weird. It's different from holding hands with just a friend, because I like him. So, like, for Ryuji, this difference in how it feels to hold hands has been there for, like, the large majority of his life because it was tied to something romantic. Whereas like Makoto still doesn't like feel that necessarily.
He's just my bro, yeah.
Like Makoto's like, wow, this is not really any different from what we've always done, but now it's different because we have a label on us, which isn't how Ryuji views it. It's always been different because of the way it makes Ryuji feel when they do it, is the key thing. I'm really excited to see what this show winds up doing for its last couple of episodes.
I don't know who's gonna end up. As everyone else wondering, like, I have no idea who's gonna end up with who, if anybody at all. But I'm honestly okay with almost any outcome it can come up with at this point.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for Aoi. Like, come on, bro.
God, her dad being like, I'll get you another whale plush, as she's surrounded in a sea of whale plush.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, she does need another whale plush. As someone who owns about 3,000 Pokemon plushies and just had 8 more come in the mail this week, you definitely need more. She doesn't have enough, but...
I think she likes the concept of plushes, just maybe not whales anymore. Let the girl escape the whales.
Be fun.
No luck, boys.
Let them have whales.
It's not a thing you can like search up is the problem, because it's not like, I guess, unrecognizable enough. But I absolutely do remember reading / hearing it. Just the annoying part.
That would be like the 100,000 girls who really, 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 really like you or something like that.
Michael, you know what's crazy? I almost feel like it probably gets brought up in a couple of things. I almost feel like maybe it gets brought up in Kill Blue.
But that would make...
Oh no, you know what it is? It's at first I was like, maybe it's marriage toxin, but they're not in that age setting for that to be the reason why it would get brought up.
No.
We'll figure it out one day.
We'll get back to you guys on it.
Yeah, I'll make a YouTube community post when we find out. Stay tuned.
I'm sure you will.
I've used that feature twice.
I'm proud of you.
I know.
No, because Kill Blue, because it's like the beginning of that anime / manga, and Kill Blue starts.
Yeah, with action.
Before, yeah.
Oh, but let's get into Alya. What a great screenshot this week for Alya.
Alya this week was certainly a show this week. So the title of this episode, I have to start there, was, and I quote, "Rom-Commie with the chance of hypnosis," which is a fucking amazing title. It opens with Yuki talking with her dad and her mom at the dinner table.
Grandfather.
Grandpa? Okay. We were confused about that, because we're like, who is... Because I thought they split, and
yes.
then... Okay.
Yeah.
And so, it's her mom and her grandfather at the table, and basically, the grandfather's like, I heard he won a student debate, but you struggled against this person. I expected more of them. Or were you just trash, garbage, terrible granddaughter? And where the mom's just... And then they go aside, the mom is just like, hey, I hope you guys are at least still close. And she's like, don't worry, we are, Mom. It's fine. More than you know. And then she goes aside with her maid and she goes, can I use you as a body pillow? Which is really cute. And she just fucking motorboats her and goes, titties are the best. Which was amazing. And then we go to school where the biggest issue is, the debate. It's like, hey, yo, I can't believe she ran out. You guys won that debate so hard that she just fucking left. What an idiot. And Alya doesn't like winning that way because it's like, hey, she ran out because we're now her favorite OTP. And so Masa tries to get his classmates to help, and then they start berating her instead and going like, oh, she's just garbage. And they're just like, no, that's not what we want either. And so they have this like nice private heart-to-heart talking about this in the student council office where he goes, the desk chair just moved. Someone's having a rom-com moment. I should excuse myself. Alya, stop getting close. No, we're not having my rom-com moment here. I need to stop this. And so he just goes, with the student council officers behind the desk, please stand up. And then he goes, how about we just both pretend none of this ever happened and we go our separate ways? And it just zooms in on the board that just says the word of the day is thoughtfulness. Very mindful, very demure. So Masachika's plan is to ask I forget the blonde one's friends, Tanamiya's friend, basically to say, hey, can we meet in the middle here, figure this out, so that way your friend isn't as targeted, ours isn't as targeted. Also, you should really treat yourself better as a human, but like that's a whole nother issue we're gonna get into later probably. And she's like, you're right, I should. You said the same thing that Tanamiya did, but you didn't slap me. And he's like, huh? To which we have now. He's like, man, this is the part where I'd have my assistant tail them, and so he calls out to his former maid. She goes, yes. And he goes, why are you here? And then Yuki goes, I was here too. And we're like, where did you come from? And she's like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
And then we get the funniest fucking line of the episode where Masachika goes, I need to start looking under desks. I need to check
start looking
every
under these
fucking
desks more
teacher's
often."
desk that exists, because this is getting out of hand.
And then Alya shows up and leaves because she sees that he's having a conversation with his sister. She's like, oh, I just see a conversation with 3 childhood friends. And walks away and then says something in Russian. To which his sister goes, I've seen that look before. That's the, ooh, I made us something for lunch because we're so successful. But where is Masachika? I don't know where he is. I should go find him, look. It was amazing. So basically the whole plan that Tanamiya comes up with, she's like, no, it's my fault. I rubbed her the wrong way with what I did. She figured out about the plants and she didn't like it, so she left. Which, you know, helps credit Alya on her win, but also helps protect her friend, basically. And then we have the end of the episode, which is the sus part, where they have a confiscated hypnosis book, which works on the older sister, who really wants to try it, and it works. And so they do it on Alya, which also works on both of them. And then Yuki is the problem. And then rom-com hilarity ensues with ecchi elements that we haven't seen since episode 1. And then it resolves with the
It's been around.
student. Is it the president that comes in, or the vice president? I think vice president. She comes in and
vice
just
president comes in.
resets them somehow, and he goes, "How did you do that?" She's like, "Don't worry about it. Are you ready to be reset now?" And he's like, "No, I'm not ready to be reset." And then we cut to a Miku song in the ending this week. But I thought this episode was fan-fucking-tastic. I didn't really like the hypnosis part.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But like the other 90% of the episode, oh my god, this shit was so funny this week. I was losing my fucking mind.
I mean,
I'm
the
also glad
hypnosis stuff
I'm
could've
glad that
been
the JP
worse.
subs also said titties are great,
Yo,
because that's literally what you said.
I will be honest, I watched like the opening scene of this subbed because I forgot to change it over to dub. And then as soon as we cut back to the classroom and I heard Masachika's voice, I went, that's not right. And I went and I rewatched the episode dubbed. I will say, I think the way the family dynamic works is better in the sub because of the way the honorifics work. It's a lot clearer, like the family dynamic.
Let's hear.
Just the way the conversation flows, even between Yuki and her mom's a lot cleaner in the sub. But it's not a big enough deal for me to have stuck with the sub the whole way through. Because the dub's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, the dub actors are so good.
Oh, we also forgot the bit where
Oh,
Masachika's
so
getting raised up by the boys. They're like, you did so cool. And Masachika sits down and he goes, yeah, but you should really talk to Alya about it. I gotta go roll my
I did
gacha
pretty good, but, like,
waifus.
you guys should ask all your questions. To which they're like, none of them like, oh, I don't really
He
have questions.
flat
for
out
life. To which
says-
he just kicks the desk over, just goes, help me out, brother. Come on, get me in there.
But he flat out says, I gotta roll my gacha waifus in front of 70 people.
Yeah,
That
my
man...
gotcha waifu's await.
So I really liked this episode. Like, I think the comedy's really good. I just like other things better. There you go. It's
That's
the show.
crazy.
It's the show that fell into the gap this week where like I have things about the other ones that I hold a little more above them.
I will
I've
say,
been losing it so many times though.
So Michael and I watched everything on like Monday night. We were just like sitting in a call, just like fuck it, I guess.
Like you do with the homies.
And Alya certainly was the show I had to pause the most for laugh and also what the fuck breaks.
It's like,
Yeah.
huh?
We were certainly losing our minds over the desk bit
Yep.
with Ayano.
The callback to it too was just so good.
So good.
I love when he goes full Deadpool. Like he just breaks fourth wall and goes like, I really gotta start doing this more often.
There.
Everyone.
It was very good. I really enjoyed this episode a lot.
I know.
I
It's great.
honestly,
Masachika's just a legend.
I debated on putting it lower because of the ecchi bit, but honestly, the ecchi wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Fair.
So,
Yeah, and not even just that, but like as a hypnosis bit goes, this is not the worst it could have been.
oh yeah,
Hands down. Like we could have got a lot worse. I was on. If anything, the thing that was most surprising to me is that like we didn't end with this being the two sisters playing a bit on them, which is really where I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna go. But No, we're just saying that they're both susceptible to hypnosis. Wild.
My favorite part about it is that it didn't do the wow that you were expecting from every other rom-com ever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
If you don't, go watch Giguk and Sid Snaps.
Any
Anime quiz.
video,
It's the first question. Is where is that from? The answer is everything.
Yeah. It's like right under like fall cicada noises is like wow sound from lewd scene.
No, honestly, I'm surprised there wasn't a bit in Aizuken where they had to pull that.
Fair.
Hey, guy, can you pass me the wow noise?
But
It just has it has the shirt image from Pseudo Harem taped over the cassette tape.
It's just,
Wow,
just-
wow, wow,
it's on a
wow.
collection of like noises on the wall. Like one of them is just like cicadas in summer, cicadas in winter, cicadas in fall. It's just like wow noise. What noise do fox make?
Mind pals. I think that is
Oh, yeah, it's-
everything
great show.
for all you.
Great game.
Let's get into Wistoria. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Praxis time! And since it's Praxis time, we have to spend the first half of this episode making Will seem pretty fucking useless, because in some ways, he kinda is.
Magic's kind of broken.
Yeah, so we get a little bit of information about how this search spell works. They brought it up last week that Will can't use it, and that's going to kind of cause him to be a detriment to the team. It's going to slow them down. And then we see it in action, and basically what it is, it's a radius spell that lets them know where monsters are coming from, which then, because they're magic users, lets them not have to get close to the monster at all. Now, ideally, this would mean that Will can shine if there's like a horde of monsters that gets really close really quick. However, Lihan is here, and her family's whole thing is that they are close combat mages that fucking
They're
tear
knights.
through hordes. Yeah.
Or family's knights, literally.
Yeah. They're magic knights. And so, Will doesn't really get to do a lot of anything, and even when stuff does start to show up in big groups, Wignall has air magic that just shreds the vicinity, and we know Scion has fucking fire magic that just can blast the whole crowd away. So he doesn't really have a lot to do yet. He can't even, be taking hits for the team because nothing's getting close enough. They're also still on the first floor that they've entered in. So, things aren't ridiculous yet. Also, everybody's got this thing where they can just absorb the essence of creatures into their wands, and Will has to actually carve parts to get credits for the things he kills. Which also means he slows the group down in that way.
Yeah, it's so bullshit. Will has to show his work, and they don't.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
He has to really show his work. And Colette kind of is concerned. The group takes a break in the middle of a field of fire. And Zion and Julius are like, we're gonna rest here in the middle of nowhere? Why the fuck are we doing that? And Liana's like, because Wignall. And Wignall goes, illusion magic, and creates a ring of fire around them that scares away the monsters. And Will is like, okay, I'm carrying all of the all the rations, so I'm gonna hand out everybody rations. Wignall goes, no, put mine down. Don't touch me. And Will goes, oh. And Colette goes, what the fuck's that about? And he goes, oh, elves only let people they acknowledge touch them. The only person in this room who's allowed to touch me, besides me, is Lahana. I do not respect a single fucking one of you. And while I know that you kicked the shit out of the other guys, I do not care for you.
You don't respect them either.
To which
I do appreciate that.
To which Will is like, this is understandable. It's a culture thing. Elves and dwarves do their own thing. He's very understanding about this, even though it sucks ass. The group kind of berates Will. They're like, yeah, no, kind of proving our point that we didn't really need you. And Liana's like, no, he might prove useful. Maybe. Probably. He'll be able to serve as a shield. He hasn't done it yet, but he will. Probably.
Probably.
Fucking bodies Will into the
This
ground.
is a good bit.
I love her.
expressions, too.
I love her. She's gonna be really, really fun. And then we cut a little bit to our strangers deeper down. Well, first Liana explains that they are blitzing through Praxis to get to the last monster that is Is it 100 or 1,000 credits? It's a lot of credits.
It's 1,000.
Yeah,
It's 1,000.
it's a lot of credits. They beat it. It's basically Cerberus. And so they're like, we're gonna get there first by just ignoring all the base camps and blitzing through, trying to fight as little amount of things as possible.
Save our energy and actually beat this thing with the super team.
Yeah. In the meantime, we see that farther down, on the floors of the dungeon, are those guys who are fucking around. And they are brutally murdering everything in their way. Decapitations are going on here. Monsters are dead. They're not fucking around. And as Will's group gets to the bottom, they find the monster they're here to kill has already been killed. And then we learn a little bit more about the search spell, where Will goes, the search spell is limited. One, it's limited on range, and two, there are just some things that don't get picked up on search. As such, it's really important to have good natural senses. And Will goes, there's something above us. Guys, we're fought. And then Wignall gets his shit rocked. He gets his shit rocked so hard by this monster. And everyone...
This rock's so hard, we'll remember we have to care about him.
Everybody starts to get ready to launch every powerful spell they can possibly have at this monster. To which it goes, I'm gonna break the ground, and drops them into deeper parts of the labyrinth, deeper than they're supposed to go for praxis. And by that it drops them into the hell dimension. So, it seems like Scion and Julius don't drop as far as the rest of the group, just based on terrain, but maybe they are still in the same floor, they're just not in the really dangerous part. So Scion and Julius are together, that's surely gonna go well for them. We see that Colette and Lihana are together. Lihana gets her eye bashed open by a rock. They say they're fine. Surely they'll be fine. They're the girls, they'll be good. And Will went out of his way to try to catch Wignall so that the man didn't die from fall damage while he was unconscious. Meanwhile, we see Wignall is dreaming, having a nightmare of his time back with the elves, where, notoriously, he had decided he was going to go to magic school, and the elves all went, why the fuck are you going to do that? You aren't good at magic. You don't deserve to go there. You should not even actually go there to begin with, because you should be better than the school than to need to go there. So going there is also not great. And we see the head of the Wind Magia Vander is like, yeah, you are so useless to me, in fact, that I'm just gonna fucking I'm just gonna fucking take your arm off. And he wakes up because that part of the dream happens because his arm is injured, and Will wants to help patch up his arm, but is currently dealing with monsters attacking them. To which Wignall wakes up and goes, did you just solo that giant snake? And Will goes, yeah, by the way, you're bleeding. Can I help you? And he goes, fuck no. Get me the supplies and I will do it myself. You're not allowed to fucking touch me. And Will goes, neat, cool. We're in trouble. And Wignall goes, yeah, I can tell. We should wait for a rescue team. And Will goes, no. There's not gonna be a rescue team.
How about that?
You know the thing that rocked our shit in? That's still up there. If a rescue team is coming, it's not gonna come for a while.
I love that idea as well of like, we should wait for a rescue team. You know, in this area that we're not supposed to be in, that they have no reason to think we would ever be down here.
I guess the idea is they are the top of the class. The moment they don't see them where they're supposed to be, they're going to check where the boss was and see the floor cave in. But even then, that's going to take time. And on top of that, meanwhile, at, I want to say base camp on level 8, or it's either 8 or 9. I want to say it's 8 based on what they say. We see the vampire-like female teacher reach out to Werkner and go, hey, shit's bad. We just got hit by a monster raid, and we got reports. The teachers on the floor, on the base camps below, are dead. Like, crucified, head chopped off, dead. To which Werkner and Edward go, okay, we're going in. Praxis is done.
Summer vacation is over, Mason.
And then we cut back down to Will and Wignall as they are trekking through more of the dungeon. And Wignall goes, search, 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 because the man's paranoid something's going to kill him. And Will goes, hey, buddy, I'm gonna need you to stop. Because I need you to have magic so that when we do get attacked, you can fucking do something. So, here's how search works. You should know this, but here's how search works. You have this radius. You will know... Well, once you have... I know how many strides my steps are. So when I know we've walked out of your previous search radius, I will tell you. And if you're so paranoid, you can search again. Otherwise, leave any sensing of shit to me and Kiki. We will know when stuff is coming. And Wignall acquiesces, and he goes, why the fuck do you know... Why are you so calm? And he goes, oh, I've done this a lot. Like, not in this level of the dungeon, but I go to the dungeon because it's the only way I can earn credit, and I get lost all the fucking time. I go places I should not go, I run into things I should not run into, and the only way to survive is to do exactly what we're doing. And Wignall goes, what is wrong with you? And then, some demon orcs show up. And Will goes, okay, Wignall, you take the one behind us. I'll take the 7 in front of us. And Wignall seemingly takes the one behind them as Will destroys the 7 in front of them. And Wignall goes, why can he do this? I just don't understand why he's this good. It's frustrating he's this good. The orc behind me's not dead. Fuck, oh shit, oh fuck. I'm gonna use illusion magic. And Will goes, fucking idiot. And then he has to rush in and save him. He goes, they don't have eyes. They don't see your illusion. They smell you. And he goes, dude, it's gonna be okay. You're a really skilled mage. You're really good at your job. Your magic's cool. And Wignall goes, no, I'm not. In fact, I'm as dog shit as you are. Wait a minute, Wignall. I think we have a problem here. You see, the person you think's a laggard is not. I think I like this episode build-up wise. It makes me really hopeful and excited we're gonna get a lot out of these characters in these little moments where they're together. Which I think is really what this show needs as it's building towards the end of the season, is to really flush out these characters who are probably going to be really important for the next arcs that come afterwards. By actually, like, getting them to talk with each other and learn more about them. I do think it's funny that last we were like, yeah, it's interesting that Wignall, the elf, is the one who stands up for Will and kind of fucking flexes on everybody. And then this episode, they're like, no, we remembered he's an elf. We really remembered he's an elf. We want you to know he's an elf.
Elves are notoriously xenophobic?
That was part of my reason why I had this rated at the bottom. And I will say as well, I was flip-flopping between this and Pseudo Harem being at the bottom all week. And I committed to it right before podcast, but I'm not a fan of the, like I understand it, don't get me wrong, but I'm in on the Will train to I'm very much not in on Will is a little jarring, to say the least.
I think you have to recognize that it's not that he's in on Will, it's that he trusts Lahana.
Because she's the only person.
And then, and he even gets a little haughty with her, where he's like, maybe I shouldn't trust your opinion, which is a little pushing some boundaries there, buddy. I don't know if you want to be saying that to her.
Right.
She has a sword, buddy. She will cut off your elf penis.
Well, no.
But elves don't reproduce. They reproduce by trees.
Oh, this episode also
we don't
opens.
Know about that. We don't know the reproduction rules of this lore.
We do. They talk about it. They mention it when he's talking about his brood.
Yeah.
He's like, they're milkmaids. They're not siblings.
We also open. I completely forgot. This episode opens on one of the guys who's a part of like the fire group walking up to the Magia vendor of fire and be like, "Hey, so Praxis is happening. You're in charge of overseeing some things because you're the only one who's gonna do it." And he goes, "Are you telling us or light Well, no. He said, is it light?
It's light.
Yeah, he's like, the light Magia vendor's not back. Fine." Which means some wild shit's gonna... I'm excited for some of the teachers and, like, higher level mages to pop the fuck off. Because something's gotta happen. There's some shit going on here.
I will say, one of the things I did really enjoy was the bit where you see Edward and Mercenary. Worker's like kind of freaking out when he gets the
Yeah.
like, intel that everyone's dead, and Edward immediately is like, "We gotta save these fucking
We have to
kids."
go now. Like, we're going in now. There's no question. We are going in.
Yeah,
Like,
Praxis
it's-
is done.
Praxis is
Priority is
over.
making sure the kids are safe.
yeah, it's really
Which can make the
nice
question:
because
why is someone attacking the mage kids? Is it the people from? Because we also had some lore about, hey, it's gonna break soon. This might be the last Praxis we have, basically.
Yeah, he's like, I really don't want to leave my post because that barrier's looking sus up there, bros. You were gonna
The
say
world's
more,
gonna
Mason?
end, but hey, let's go have a nice little gallivant.
yeah.
Were you gonna say some more stuff, Mason, about the teacher stuff?
No, that was just I did really enjoy that bit because it's a very good character bit for Edward.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because reminder, this dude was literally... The implication is this man was a step away from being Magia Vander, but, I'm forgetting
Someone-
her fucking...
He like just didn't make it.
well,
Elfie.
yeah, it seems like Elfie's the one who beat him to it just because she was the
She's a
next
Smurf.
person in... Yeah. Also of note, of the bad guys, one of them has done nothing. It's only been the headless person who's been doing, like, all the killing. That's not good. That's not good to not see.
From what we've seen. From what we've seen.
Yeah, but the
And
implication
given that all the
seems-
corpses are also headless, but
Yeah. Character design's rad.
Yeah, it's very good. Very
Wait.
Kurogiri for Mitre, though.
God, dude.
Yeah, this episode is really good. Really cool.
Downside...
The same kind of thing with
Yeah.
Wignall, the whole like constantly pushing the elf thing was like, yeah, it's a lot. Because it feels like every time it feels like we're almost past it, someone else goes, nah, just kidding, got a shit on Will again.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
But now we're free again. Now he's in his zone.
He's too busy having a fucking panic attack to insult Will.
Yeah, now he's in real bad shape.
Maybe the laggards were just us along the way.
I also think that I was gonna make a point. Another thing that I think can kind of set this episode back comparatively is that of our two action shows, it has action, but it doesn't do anything crazy with its action this week. So it definitely kind of hits the lower note for me.
It's a build up.
Comparatively, yeah. But this new dungeon design, fucking being like rainbow like skin and tissue, is wild.
Yeah.
It's like it's a living dungeon, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, and the interesting thing is they're like, yes, this dungeon is going to kill us over X amount of time is kind of crazy.
Yeah, mid card.
well.
Mid card, we I don't remember what the first mid card is, but I know the second mid card is Wignall. Which a really funny note about this is it goes deepest level of the dungeon, the floor they're currently on, which is really funny. It's like these are actively updating bios, so it's like we don't get to know what his deepest floor was prior, but it's really funny that it's now this one. All I'm saying is I'm really excited for an episode that focuses on our girls. They're gonna go crazy.
We'll finally get the meaning behind that one bit in the opening.
I think, yeah, I can't wait to finally get the backstory for Colette they've been cock-teasing us with for the past fucking 6 episodes. What a great time we're looking for. Speaking of the other action show, we are...
Action.
Is it my time?
It is your time.
So Elusive Samurai this week went fucking crazy. As it should, because we're finishing off an arc. So this episode starts where we see that we see how Shokan got cut, and we subsequently get the backstory of what this technique that Fubuki taught Tokiyuki was. And basically what it is cutting someone as you're jumping away from them, because it's much easier to cut something when you're pulling it, as opposed to like pushing in or anything like that. And all he does is he just cuts his inner forearm, cuts his wrist. And Shokan's like, what do you think that's gonna do, kid? I'm gonna kill you before I ever bleed out and I can just get treated.
Smile.
Smile. To which Tokiyuki goes, "Ha, you bitch." We then cut to Ayako and Kojiro are fighting a guy with a naginata. And it's base because they keep getting their shit kicked in, and finally Ayako has enough of it and just grabs the naginata and just holds, just digs in and just goes, "I'm taking this." Kojiro, go kill him.
I'm also not sure if the darts the Shrine Maiden shoots at him are actually relevant or not, or if they're just to piss him off.
I could not hear any of what you just said. Hold on.
Fun. Was that because of your headset or me?
I heard it.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm not sure. I said I'm not sure if the darts or Shrine Maiden shoots at him are actually relevant or if they're just to piss him off.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
But it's very funny either way. Yeah, and then with this, I believe Ayako and Kojiro Kojiro cuts the naginata in half, and then they combo decapitate this man.
Yeah.
We cut to Fubuki is fighting the Buddha on his head guy, and just absolutely destroys him.
This fight's sick.
This fight's so sick. Because the whole time he's not even paying attention to the fight. He's just thinking about Tokiyuki and going, "Hey, that kid's really cool."
Well,
What's all going on?
to be fair, he's thinking about it for a second because he's gauging the opponent, and as soon as he realizes that the opponent's actually dog shit, he's like, "Oh, now I can tune out."
Yep.
Because the whole thing is that the guy, like, we get a little bit from his perspective where he's like, "I've spent my entire life playing the game, where if I don't make it clear that I am the strongest person in the crowd, and instead play the dumb person who appeals to the person in charge, I can survive. I won't get sent to really dumb places and dangerous places. When I need to, I can make my move to, like, move into a more beneficial spot." It's a really interesting thing, and then Fubuki looks at him and goes, "Oh, your technique's similar to the thing you've been doing in your entire life, except you're bad at it. You haven't perfected it, which makes you dog shit."
Basically, he can tell what kind of strike he's going to do, because at first he's like he can't really tell, and then he notices that his arm moves in a slightly different way depending on which angle it's going to come at. And he goes, "Oh, I can read you like a fucking book, okay," and just like holds him off for a second, blocks an attack, and then just from like he does some sort of like flip or spin or something. I don't remember exactly because I did watch this almost a week ago now. But lands where his back is to him and just holds his swords up and goes, "Nah, I got this," and just slices his throat. We then get back to Tokyo, where
And Shokan is dying.
He's having a great time. Shokan's losing his shit because he's like, "How the fuck are you doing this? Why can't I hit you?" And we get one of the coolest sequences I've ever seen, which is Tokiyuki is dodging his attacks, and Shokan is like kind of flailing around and is splattering blood everywhere. And Tokiyuki not only dodges the attacks, but the blood splatter. And this just puts the fear of God even more into Shokan. He's like,
While just smiling.
Are you doing
All while
this?"
smiling, yeah.
Having an absolute like
Euphoric state of happiness.
jolly time.
Yes.
The visual of the room they're in is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like,
Oh my goodness.
so this is the scene of it. This is the animation that I think I don't know if all of us saw it before this episode, but I think Michael and Mason and I did.
Yep.
Did you, John? Did you
Zoetrope.
also see
I
it?
saw it on Twitter. Oh yeah, the spinning.
Because everybody fucking loves it. Yeah. Which
Works,
it's
baby.
it's really fucking cool.
Mm.
Because it's not.
So fucking good at their job.
It's different from what Wistoria does speed wise. That like you get this really cool. It's almost cartoonish in how
It's like
he
motion blur cartoony.
Yeah, it's like motion blur cartoony where like he bounces around the room like a cartoon character. You also just get the shots where he passes under Shokan's blade twice, and each time his smile is growing bigger, and like he's more into the fight. This whole scene's rad.
It's so good.
Like having a fight to death with a child who's just smiling at you the whole time, but you slowly bleed to death is just like, it's just fucking scary, man.
And eventually, he does finally go down after just going,
Yeah, that was funny.
he sees the Buddha and then has kind of like a hallucination from blood loss of just seeing Tokiyuki as this Buddha that's murdering him. And he goes, "Oh, I understand now." And we get a bit of his backstory of like he's the second son of a like relatively big like samurai family. And his dad tells him, "Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. We for as a family have been splitting the plots up amongst our sons for generations, and there's just not enough left. So you're going to be your brother's servant." And he goes, "The fuck I am," and leaves. He becomes a mercenary for a bit, and then ends up joining up with Sadamune. After Sadamune is like, "Dude, you're a great warrior. Like, I will give you land. Just be my god."
Yeah. So what's crazy here is this aftermath of this fight that leads to that.
Yeah. So, Tokiyuki wins. He gets out. Everyone's all happy. And then Sadamune shows up with a bunch of people and is like, it's really looking bad because everyone's really tired. And then suddenly Gemba shows up with the reinforcements, including the entire standing army of Suwa. And Sadamune runs some quick maths in his head and goes, "We can't fucking win this. We're leaving." They manage to get Shokan out. And as they're like getting away, Sadamune gets a quick look into the room that they were fighting in and is just like, "What the fuck happened here?" Shokan ends up waking up as they're carting him off, and they have a conversation about like, "Yeah, no, I had no idea that he could be this terrifying. Like, I was way out of my depth and I didn't realize it. I underestimated."
He put the fear of God into Shokan so that he gave up being a bandit and is now going to just be an Imperial soldier. General, essentially, but still fucking wild. Also
even
insane
even
that
though like Sadamune is offering him literally like everything he ever wanted, Shokan's just like, "Whatever, man. I've already found enlightenment. I want to find my god again. I've seen him once. I want to fight him again." Basically,
Yep.
It is craziest thing that you could tell me is that Shokan was gonna get out of this fight alive. That's insane.
Yes.
I'm
think
really
it's
excited.
kind of a bit of a meh, but we'll talk about it.
I get it. I think it'll be interesting because I imagine the next time we see Shokan, Tokiyuki's not gonna fight him.
Probably not.
I also think that he's in an odd spot where, like, in a really odd way, he might not wind up being a villain for the whole time. Like, he is set up in a position where I could see him once he learns who Tokiyuki is, that he folds.
Probably he could defect.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But I also don't know if Tokiyuki wants him, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the downside there, is like...
Yeah.
And then...
After this, we get kind of a wrap-up of what's all going on, and first we get a really good scene with Yorishige and Tokiyuki, where Yorishige, like, Tokiyuki's like, "Yeah, no, we did. Like, I fought him. I did a great job." And Yorishige comes and like hugs him and goes, "I'm just glad you're okay," and like cries on his shoulder. It's so
cute.
It's so good. I like teared up seeing this. We also get a bit where they talk for a moment, and then they talk with Fubuki, and he goes, "Hey, you want to be a retainer?" And Fubuki goes, "You know, I don't know if I want to be a retainer, like, for Suwa. Like, I don't really respect Yorishige all that much." And Yorishige just looks at him and goes,
No, he just goes...
It's this guy.
He doesn't say a
He's the
goddamn
one
thing.
that
He's like...
I think what he specifically says, he's like, "I'd rather like." Tokiyuki's like, "Hey, you should serve me as a retainer. I'd love to have you." He's like, I really wouldn't want to serve you. I really would like to serve someone who could be a potential lord or be a potential like leader of land. I'd much rather serve you as head of the Suwa tribe." And he goes, "No. This guy. You want to serve this guy?" And then they tell him, they're like, "Yes. So I'm actually the son of
the Hojo clan.
I'm not Tojomaru. I'm the son of the Tojo clan. I am the most powerful figure alive from the last regime."
And
I'm
Fubuki's...
literally him, and he goes, "Oh."
Yeah,
He's him.
Fubuki's like, why? He's like, I knew you had something.
But then he's also like, I have a new tool. I have a new toy to play with.
Yeah.
And he goes, and Fubuki goes, look, I'm down, but I'm gonna eat my weight in rice in millet every day. And they're like, you know, we eat rice over there, right? He goes, you what?
You have rice?
Please.
I'm
let me
still
in.
not sold on the characters. On the characters we have who have, like,
Rice?
like gags and goofs about their characters. I'm still not really sold
Gemma
on.
fucking
So like,
sucks.
even Fubuki, like I'm still I don't hate the food bit, but I'm not sold on it like being good enough yet that it warrants it being part of the character. I would like to get more of it. It sure does suck that Gemba shows up and it's like, yo, it's the boy, titty guy.
I was late because I saw some titties. Am I right, brothers? And you're like,
It's
yeah, sure. But
Actual character assassination.
It really is. It fucking sucks.
Gemma was so cool.
It also does. This also does again irritate my brain where I'm like, so who are the people you fucking have here? Who did you get to show up who are adults who are the archers? Where did they come from? You had no adult.
I think now the way that I'm looking at it, it might just be some of the kids from the village.
But no, they're clearly adults. Like the ones fighting in the village though. On their side.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
So like, were they just a smaller force that got sent out early? It's just like there's like a technical level to tactical thing that like, for how tactical they've set up the explanation, they leave a little bit of it vague that it's a little irritating.
Yeah.
Again, the show's still sitting at 1 though, because the entire action portion of those episodes fucking insane, and that's 90% of it. And it's just a really solid episode for me.
Yeah.
So like, even though I have small gripes, they're nowhere near enough to knock this show down this week from how fucking insane and incredible it was
that
for
fight
me.
was sick.
I like all 3 of the fights this episode.
All of them.
Yeah. Yes, the show is so fucking cool.
But other shows are also cool.
But I'm just surprised I haven't heard like anything about this manga. If this is like how the fights are. I mean, I guess they might just look nicer in the anime. Some of these might just not read well in manga. But like, I've heard fuck all about this manga.
I'm really interested to like crack this open when the season ends to see what we
What
have
it
going
actually
on.
looks like and stuff.
Oh, I guess now's a good time to insert, since we've already talked about it. Alya is greenlit for a 2nd season.
Yep, I did
It's
see that.
already in production for next year.
So is what was another one?
Shoshimen is guaranteed it's a 2nd season. In fact, apparently it was already planned for 2nd core.
What was the video game one we watched the other season?
Solo Leveling?
Nope, the other video game one. The guy that plays a good game, Shangri-La.
Oh, Shangri-La.
Oh yeah, we knew that. Yeah, we've done.
Did that not already get a 2nd season? I thought it
No, it
already
just had
happened.
2 cores.
No,
think
we got
it's
second
coming.
core Tower of God, second core of that. We have another
Yeah,
Danmachi
Shangri-La
season.
I think is coming this season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 26 more episodes too, which is really good for a 2nd
Yeah.
season. Sometimes they'll only get like a 13 or something, but
Yeah, but
love
Shoshimen
to
is
see it.
going to adapt it's going to adapt the rest of it for
That's
what
good.
it's worth. So it'll end its other set. John, fun fact: Shoshimen's newest like the last volume it's going to adapt as a novel, came out like this year. Like the guy's been writing.
oh, we're getting
these
another ReZero season too, by the way.
Yep, the guy's been writing the Shoshimen novels like over the past like
20 years.
yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool.
But no,
Eventually, we'll get more apothecary novels when they get out of prison for tax evasion. I gotta read those.
Michael, what are
So
some other
based.
thoughts about Elusive? It's your show that's not top 3. So I don't know if you have anything particular you want to say.
I just really liked
Everything
Alya.
else?
Out of space.
Again,
man. Out of
it
space.
truly is the like. I think this is like a very clear step up above 5 and 6 for me. Like I think it's definitely is a better show in my opinion than Wistoria is.
Fair.
And Pseudo Harem did have the kind of slower. Again, we'll get to it. Had the slower start. Like though I do love these two, I'm kind of just like, yeah.
Yep.
I just think the other robots are doing a lot more with their characters.
The other was
Again,
yeah, we'll talk.
different kind of show. That's not what it's trying to do.
Yeah,
But again, we'll get that when we get to Pseudo Harem.
Wistoria is interesting. I'm sure we'll talk more about it at other points. not saying I have an expectation of what's happening this week, but I think I know what's happening this week. But like Wistoria is maybe one of the slowest slow burn fantasy action shows we've had in a while. Where like it's really taking its time. Which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, there's some, again, I'm not exactly set yet still, I think, on what top 3 looks like for me. Because I like all these shows so much.
Yeah. I'm
not gonna say anything in particular, however, but we're gonna talk about this next show, and I don't know, guys. I think, this might be my...
What?
I know on my PR... oh no, yeah, this is still top 3 on my PR. This was the thing I swapped. This was almost not top 3, and I went, nah, it's gotta... For no particular reason. Michael, let's talk about Heroines.
Some of the pluses and minuses off a little bit now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Plus.
You know what? I might have completely fucked up doing those for the later half just because I wasn't paying attention. I think I was just trying to get it done in time, and I did not double check.
Because how it looks on my end is that losing Heroines went up from last place to 4th when it went from 1st to 4th.
Correct. Yeah, I definitely did not do those numbers right. Yeah, I just did not adjust the numbers on your side, Mason.
I see how it is.
So Makeine, too many losing Harem. We're continuing / potentially, or not finishing up because we still have to actually have the event happen. But we're finishing preparations for the cultural festival thing, the whatever fest.
Subuki.
Yeah. Fest.
Yeah.
So again, trying to remember generally order event, but so it's a lot of like Nukumi's going, hey Komari, you gotta like stop doing everything yourself to a point where Komari collapses. She does she collapse at school and then appears at home?
She collapses in the club room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then him and the nurse take her back to her house.
Yeah, because she's like giga overworked herself. As she said, she has the Rugrats, and we get to meet them this episode. You get to meet little Komari, but it's a boy, and little Komari.
Yeah.
That's it. They're adorable. They're little babies. They're one of those
adorable creature.
Her sister straight up goes, "I do this with my hair because she does it."
And
Like what a 4-year-old would do.
And Nukumizu goes, that's adorable.
That's adorable. But yeah, I get a good thing there. And then Nukumizu almost literally pulls a Komari 12 seconds later and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do what I can for club preparation. And everyone walks in. I think 7 people walk into the room after here.
Yeah.
So it's Yanami and Lemon, president, vice president, Ayano and Tsuguma, the 2 others from Lemon's thing. And I want to say the pink girl, she shows up during the episode.
Yeah, she does.
Karen,
Yeah.
does she show up here?
No, she shows up.
Or she just in a
she
different
shows
second?
up later to grab Anna to go help do stuff for their class. But
Okay.
and
But
she's in
earlier in the
yeah,
episode.
she's in the front half of the episode, but we can track back to that if you want to.
We love 8K girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, all 6 of those step up and they go, Nukumizu, you're a dumbass. Let us help with this. Including the president and vice president go, we're still here. We do exist. We can help set up the room. And then they go and set up the room. It's all nice, pretty. It looks fucking
Yeah.
cool.
This is a rad exhibit.
But yeah, there's a section that happens earlier with Karen who bumps into Nukumizu.
Who falls onto Nukumizu from the stairs.
Yeah, certifiably rom-com moment as Nukumizu narrates the rom-com moment in his head. He's like, oh no, this is a rom-com. Oh no, she's about to land. Oh no, rom-com moment occurring.
Titties!
Titties are great.
But yeah, that was
Yeah,
just good. I
like
love
John-
this group of characters going in. Just going.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like John-
Nukumisu, you're a dumbass.
Like John says, we get the bit where he's like, I get, he goes, I get it. I understand how this happened to her. Because, like, on one hand, Anna's great. Yanami's wonderful. But she's 4K. And Karen...
That bit's
8K.
so fucking funny, dude. Where it's just like...
And then she pops around the corner, and he goes,
just like,
4K.
You know, she just has that it factor that someone like Yanami doesn't have. It's kind of like when you see 8K come out, and you're like, 4K is still great, but this is 8K. And then, like, little Yanami comes out as he's saying this, turns the corner, he goes, oh, 4K. And she goes, 4K? And he goes, don't mind it. Anyways.
Don't mind it.
We
I
get
fucking died at that bit.
We get the bit where they're in the classroom, and you get to see all the girls in their Halloween garbs. So, Karen's a succubus, and Lemon is a mummy who is wearing no clothes under her bandages. And Nukumizu goes, "Are you wearing clothes?" And she goes, "No, why would I?" And the guys go, "What?" And all the girls go, "Nope, get the fuck out of here again." The second time, I love them.
So good.
And then Yanami shows up and she goes, "I'm a ghost," and he goes, and she's fucking adorable. She's a cute little ghost. And we also get the bit then before she passes out, where Komari and Nukumizu go shopping. Or they're at they're at the library, I think, to get research material. Yes, because he helps her bring back all the books she has, because she has so many fucking books out. And then they spot president and vice pres together, and they hide. And she talks about it a bit of how, like, it sucks, because, like, she was determined to say that she liked him, but part of her would have just liked to just kept being friends with them. That seems good. And you have the guy at the end of the episode, where him and Yanami are on the tatami mat, and they're chatting, and Nukumizu gets real close to her, and she's like, "Yo, what are you doing? This is a certified rom-com moment. I'm not ready for this." And he goes, "Don't say a single fucking weird, out-of-context thing. We're being filmed by the club advisor through the door." Which is the gag for the episode title, is ignore her. She is just a stain on the ceiling.
So fun.
This show, I love this show. This show's really good. It's not at the top of my PR this week because I think it's just a nice episode. Like it's just some character moments through the episode. Like the show definitely has done things that are really, really fucking incredible. Also, there's a dude in this episode who they're setting up to maybe be a new guy for Yanami, who's just a blonde boy, doing what blonde boys do. We don't know anything about him.
Do we have like another near confession by him on Yanami, and she's like, "Don't you dare!" And he's like, "I'm not gonna do it. Shut up."
Also, his sister's around this episode, and she apparently can fucking make everybody do anything, because she gets the one club to bring all the tatami mats over. And we have a really cute scene where him and his sister are walking outside, and he throws his school uniform jacket over her, and she hugs him. It's adorable. Wholesome brother sister.
Great.
Very good.
It's a good time. Like, what do you think of our lovely Makeine?
Oh, I think it's a good ass episode. I adore these characters.
Yeah.
It's like the one up you can't skip either.
It's so good.
In fact, Crunchyroll doesn't let me skip it. I don't know if it's you. It doesn't give me the skip option when I watch this show.
Good.
It shouldn't.
But yeah, I think the stuff they're doing with Komari is so well done, and I adore the fact that Komari does it, and then Nukumizu immediately goes to do it again.
Man wakes up at 5 in the morning to come in early to move tables alone, and Lemon goes, "Who the fuck do you think you are? You doing manual labor? Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
He has his gang now.
He has his goons.
The squad.
The squad rolling up like the fucking black holes when someone gets hit.
His Rilla goons and
Shut the fuck up.
It is time for Pseudo
I have to
Harem.
find that picture. Hang on, go ahead.
So Pseudo Harem this week, we're building off where we left off. We have a bit at the start of the episode where Rin is at her house with her friend and her sister, and she's like, "I'm nervous that Eiji's getting too popular." And she's like, "What am I gonna do if he's too popular?" And her friend, and to not ease her worry, her friend goes, "Yeah, you might get home wrecked. What are you gonna do about that?" And then Ren imagines all the potential girls who could steal him away, and they're all her alter egos. And so they're chatting, Ren and AG, and he's like, "Well, what if you just come to my school? Like, what if you just come hang out?" And she's like, "Can I do that?" And he's like, we won't pretend, like, you just don't get caught. You just vibe with me the whole day, come to my classes, don't stand out, we'll be cool." And I really expected him to get fucking called out in class because he's fucking writing notes back and forth with her as they're fucking around in the very back of the lecture hall. But also, it's the back of a college lecture hall, so they're fine.
If anyone's been in the back of a college lecture hall, they know teachers don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're tenured. They don't give a shit anymore.
But Ren starts looking around. And she's like, "Hot girl, hot girl, hot girl, hot girl. Uh-oh." And then two of them show up and are like, "Hey, you want to have lunch with us, AG?" And she's like, "Uh-oh, not good, very bad, danger mode." And he's like, "No, they're just from club." And she's like, "Oh, then we're going to go have lunch with them because I need to know about if you're popular or not." And they sit down and they go, "No, he's not popular in the fucking slightest. He's an idiot and an imbecile who goofs off with the other guys. You have nothing to worry about." And he's like, "This kind of hurts my feelings." And then they become very aware that the two of them are adorable together and definitely a couple. And so he brings Rin to the acting club, and she fucking kills... This is,
It's Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, it's Pride and Prejudice. Thank you. I was gonna say Jane Eyre, but same author, wrong novel.
I need to read Jane Eyre, man.
Hot take? Maybe hot take on
Random
guy?
aside.
I love Pride and Prejudice.
Random aside, I read Jane Eyre in 7th grade English and I hated it, but also that was before I watched about 3 million rom-coms, so I'd probably like it now that I'm
Have you read Pride and Prejudice?
No.
Pride and Prejudice is really... I actually really like Pride and Prejudice.
I need to read these, like, classic novels that as a kid I would have hated, but now probably would love.
Pride and Prejudice is genuinely, like, really good.
It's crazy that when a female author writes a story centered around female characters, they're really good. Wild. Yeah. But yeah, I also do need to read Jane Eyre. But so fucking Rin kills this performance. As does the guy she's performing with. To which AG's bros are like, "Hey, have you thought about the fact that maybe you're not the catch?" And he's like, What do you mean I'm not the... And they're like, "Look at her. Listen to her perform. Now look at you. What do you do? What type of person are you?" And he goes, "Oh no." And then they're doing a semi-confession scene. He goes, No, stop. I need this to stop. And everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
How is this man still in drama clubs?
Well, because he's the back. He does
the
tree.
I know, but
everyone
like...
needs a tree in the drama club.
We get the line where the guy looks at him and goes, "We don't need props. What the fuck are you doing out here? Go away, please."
I feel like this isn't the first time like he's interrupted a performance.
Yeah. Well, they're just practicing at this. It's not.
I know. It's just really funny.
Yeah. He's a he's a goofball. They all know he's a goofball. Oh yes. So they go home. Rin is talking to her friend at school, and we find out that she does a baby voice bit with her friend because they've been best friends. And I think this is a neat little cute thing for them to do, to show that Rin is just a sociopath with multiple people she trusts, not just him. And then they get interrupted while doing the bit by one of the underclassmen in the drama club, and she's like, "Hey, Ren Senpai, can you, like, help coach me for drama stuff?" She's like, "Sure, we'll go read lines together." And they're chatting, she goes, "How are you so good?" And she's like, "You don't gotta worry about that. You're great." And she's like, "But your performances are different. I saw you do.
You don't want to know.
I saw you perform Snow White, and I thought it was great." And Ren's like, "Okay, here's my secret. I'm madly in love." And the other classman goes, "Oh, that's a problem." And Ren goes, "Yeah, you're too dedicated to the club, aren't you? You'll find somebody. Don't worry." And then she goes, "You know, I've been thinking about you a lot. Not like that. I promise you, not like that. No. I'm definitely not gay." It's a nice episode. The show's just not our other shows. Like, there is, in my opinion, this show has survived two wheels. there's a big difference between this and what else we have left, both in like quality and like what it's given us. But I'm really happy this show got as far as it did, because it definitely, I think, showed that it was willing to do some things that are different, and it showed what it was capable of doing if you gave it a little bit of time to warm up to it.
I think the show does do a really good job at what it's trying to do, which is to be just a comfy time between two characters. They're just vibing. They're having a good, cute little comfy time.
These two are fucking adorable. Like,
and the thing with that is that it's just really hard to be like, on a like rating scale, is that better than these others? And it's hard when trying to rate things that do doing different things is a difficult task. And I think I like the vibing in some of these other shows a little more. Again, the Makeine cast is one of my favorite casts ever. Like, they're just such a good little gaggle of goons. Well, these two are fine. I think it took us a second to get Kitahama, I think it's his last name.
yeah.
It took us a bit to like get him to like start warming up and being a character, because it certainly takes a bit for him to have a personality outside of, again, and I'm not going to say this thing, but yeah, it takes a bit.
I still don't think he's like the most incredible like male lead in one of these shows. Like Masachika fucking destroys him. Even Nukamizu fucking destroys him this season. Like he's just not up to snuff. But Ren's cute, and she's definitely the hard carry of it. But you also don't get her if you don't have him, right? I think that's maybe one of the things I would say that I would have wanted more of with this show, is a little more of him. And like kind of making him more than just a goofball, or really like showing off more of him with like the bros, because that does tend to be like the thing they're highlighting now.
Yeah, like I imagine this manga is a gag manga that's just the two of them, but it would be really nice to have like him in club, because we know he's a props guy.
Yeah.
He has made 0 props in this entire story.
Well, he worked on one or two backdrops.
I think he's like painting one in one scene with Rin.
Yeah, the other scene where he stubs his finger.
Like
That's true.
it doesn't feel like.
Oh, they do the bit where he puts
We
her on
haven't really seen him do
on the
this.
stools too. Well, who the fuck knows what he was doing with that? But I want you to know that I thought for a while about what my name was gonna be for this week for the voting document, and then it came to me like in a prophetic
damn it.
dream. I'm glad you like it, Mason. I'm glad you're a fan.
I was trying to figure something out with mine, and I just couldn't.
Do I think of something like actually clever to send this?
I mean, you never know, man. It's no one sees it but us, so what does it really matter?
I think it's even funnier to send it as that.
What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck? I think I know which one is Michael's. What the fuck are we doing?
The ocean's mine too.
I'm not gonna lie, between the two of you, I'm actually not fucking sure.
Yeah, same.
Because they came at the exact same
Like
time.
what'd you put?
I think Michael's is
My-
Among Us. Is Among Us.
Yes, yeah, that is
Yeah.
mine.
I put Rilla.
Yeah,
Gooner,
no,
and
we know
Pheasant
which one is
Skippy.
yours of the other ones.
Dude, Pheasant Skippy is the fucking worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I hate it.
So
I
the votes,
I don't love it, but yeah, it's terrible.
It's so bad, but it's funny as fuck.
so the votes are in. Full saves, they're fine, no slays. On Elusive, Makeine, and Alya, 1 slave on Senpai, 2 slaves on Wistoria. Slays, that was the word, was slays. No,
Hey,
there's
yo.
slays. No, the words are
There's
slays.
no slavery on this one.
Do not
And
condone
4
slavery on
slays
this pod.
on Pseudo Harem. I can never escape that phrasing. But yeah, Pseudo Harem's gone.
That's okay. It was good. It made a good run at it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, competition too good.
Yeah.
yeah, again, cute show. It's tough to be the show that wins 2 wheels and then still be here and not go. It's like,
I mean, Yada did it, but like, that
true,
was a
but
weird one.
Yada had other things. Yada was a show. It still is a show.
Still is. Still
is. But yeah, that is gonna be it for this week. We're gonna have to figure out when we're streaming next week, and that'll be entirely relying on this dude's schedule. So we'll talk about that. At the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a good.